Thank you for tuning in to this week's episode of the Etsy Conversations podcast. I'm your host, Ijoma. And right before I start the conversation, if you enjoy these conversations and you would like to support the podcast, please go to convome.com/support. There you'll be able to buy me a coffee or two, and all the proceeds, of course, go to funding the podcast and everything that goes into producing it. Thank you in advance for your support. And now, on to our conversation. My guest this week is Tonya, and she runs the Etsy shop Accented Glory. Tonya sells natural hair accessories and jewelry designs with an Afrocentric theme. Tonya, thank you so much for being my guest and welcome to the podcast.
Thank you for the invite and hello to all your listeners.
Well, I'm so glad that you accepted, and I want to say a quick shout out and thank you to Gloria Ware from Get the Bag, because she's the one who shouted you out when I put a call out for guests for the podcast. So thank you so much, Gloria, for everyone that you shouted out, including Tonya. So, Tonya, let's begin. Can you tell us, first of all, how would you describe yourself and what you do on Etsy?
I would describe myself, and it took me a while to identify myself as this, but I would describe myself as an accessory designer. Because initially I started out with the description of crafter, then I went to handcrafter, and then I said, you know what, I have to accept who I am as a whole, and I am an accessory designer, and it's okay. And I think when I embraced that title, that's when I saw a shift in my business and how it started to grow. Because I think a lot of times our mindset can impact our business and its growth. Yeah.
So was the shift that you saw more within yourself and how you viewed yourself and what you do, or was it a shift that you observed from your customers or the people that you were attracting to your business?
It was both. It was both, because I feel like because I started identifying myself as an accessory designer, that built my confidence as a creator and what I do and how I do it. And it was reflected, I feel like, in my designs and how I create it and my process. And because of that, I felt like that influenced my customers, because they started seeing a difference and a shift in the kind of designs I created and what I put out.
I like that. Okay. So how did you decide Etsy was where you wanted to sell? And was that the first place you tried to sell your products?
Yes, Etsy was the first place that I sold my products on, because initially what I did in-person events, different vending events around my local community, just to get a feel for if people would even like the designs I created. And they did. So I said, well, okay, let me expand my reach to a broader audience. So when I did my research and found like a place that kind of hosted handmade or handcrafted makers, that's why I chose Estes initially, and I chose them first. And it worked. It worked. I created my shop. It was late November 2017. And I was like, you know what? It might be a little too late to catch these holiday sales, but I did it anyway, regardless. I said, I'm going to just take this leap of faith and I'm going to do this. And and then I got my first sale that December. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
And it was a stranger sale, right? Not friends or family?
Yes, it was a stranger sale.
Those are the best.
It was.
Yeah. Were you prepared for it? Like, did you have everything ready, or did it take you by surprise when it came relatively soon, I guess?
Yeah, it did. It initially took me by surprise, but it was that validation I felt like I needed. Yes, I'm on the right path. Yes,
Yeah.
I'm on the right track as
Yeah.
well. Yeah.
How did you get into learning how to create accessories?
It was initially it was out of a need.
Mm.
I had chose to start wearing my hair natural in 2001.
Yeah.
And when I made that decision and I made that shift, I had a hard time finding hair accessories that was natural hair friendly,
Mm-hmm.
because I quickly learned that all hair accessories aren't created equal,
Yes.
and they were created with fabrics and materials that wasn't great for my hair texture.
Mm-hmm.
And so I shared my concern and what I was experiencing with a friend, and she was like, "Well, why don't you just make it?" And I told her, "You know what? I think I will." So I started making them, and long story short, my daughters, they're all natural too, so they
Mm.
liked them. I made them for them, and then other people started saying us wear ours and say, "Okay, you make me some," and that
Yeah.
it was just a snowball effect from there. Yeah.
I love that story. And for anyone who is listening and you don't quite understand what Tonya means when she says she wears her hair natural, this is if Tonya, do you want to explain it or should I?
Yeah. Oh, it doesn't matter. I can explain it. It's
Okay.
that my hair is non-chemically altered. It's
Yes.
in the natural state, the way it grows out of my scalp. Yeah.
Yes. I wear mine natural too, so I get the struggle because yes, I have fought with hair accessories that just did not work for
Yes.
natural hair. Um, and you run the Etsy shop. It's a collaborative um business because your three girls all play roles in your shop.
Yes. Hmm. That's correct. My oldest daughter is my communications PR
Mhm.
person. She assists me with just getting brand awareness and my brand visibility out there as far as
Mhm.
on social media and my website. Um, and my middle girl, she does well. They're grown women now, but
Yeah,
but they always be my babies.
of course.
She does our blogging on our website. She manages our blog pages, and my youngest daughter, she takes photos for me as far as with the product. So she's kind of like our product model if
Yeah.
I need a quick photo or something like that. Yeah.
So Tanya, from the very beginning, did they all buy into what you were doing and it was an easy sell for them to come on board and be a part of Accented Glory?
At the time, it was an easy sell
Mm-hmm.
because their mom um, didn't have any experience with marketing,
Mm-hmm.
very little social media experience, and they had a lot.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Of course.
And so I was like, "Hey, your mom needs help. Can you please help me out?" And they
Oh.
was, and they was like,
How could they say no to that?
"Exactly." And of course they was like, "Sure." And at the time, everybody was still at home. They was a
Mhm.
lot younger, but now everybody has graduated from college. Two have moved away from home. My baby is the only one that's still at home.
Oh.
So, but still, even from a distance, they still able to help and continue to assist with the brand.
Oh, nice. And that's the
Yes.
great thing about running an online business is we have the advantage of not necessarily needing to all be in the same space to make it
Exactly.
work.
You're right.
And for anyone who wants to check out Tanya's website, it is accentedglory.com. I will also link directly to her website. So everything, all the links to her site and her Etsy shop will be in the show notes for this episode. But if you have your phone in hand and you want to check it out right now, it's accentedglory.com. And Tanya, I have two questions for you. One is, first of all, the history behind your pieces. One one particular item that I have noticed, and you talk about too, that is integral to your designs, is the cowrie shell. Can you explain why you were drawn to the cowrie shell and what the significance of it is to your designs?
I was initially drawn to the cowrie shell because of its African roots,
Mm-hmm.
and I wanted to create design pieces that gave people an opportunity to express their African heritage like
Mm-hmm.
in a stylish, bold way.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what attracted me to the cowrie shell.
Mm-hmm.
And then I just fell in love with working with it and incorporating it into all my designs to where it kind of became like um, a integral part of the brand, because now people know if they see that the
Yeah.
cowrie shell incorporated to design, oh, that's Accented Glory. Does that
Yes.
make sense?
Absolutely. Yes, it
yeah,
does. It
yeah, yeah.
does. And I immediately fell in love with your designs because the cowrie shell has meaning to me also. I'm originally from Nigeria. I grew up there, and the cowrie shell is integrated in a lot of things that we do. First of all, it used to be currency, which I know you know.
Yeah.
We used to use it as money. Well, not when I was there, but way before that. But we learned that in history that the cowrie shell was currency, and now we use it a lot in jewelry and clothing, like as an accent on clothing that we wear, and it does have a lot of meaning. So when I saw it in your style, I was like, oh, she gets it. She gets the cowrie shell. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
And then also you teach accessory making classes.
Yes. I It was just my way of sharing the
Mm-hmm.
joy of creating things by hand with others.
Yeah.
And I so far I hosted two classes, and the people that participate in the class, they just love it because they
Yeah.
really share how they didn't really understand what really goes into creating and making an accessory. And
Yeah.
they, at the last class, one of the students told me, I have a whole new respect for creatives because this is
Mm.
really work.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, because you are giving a part of yourself into this piece, and
Right.
it creates a value towards the piece because a part of you is sewn into it.
Yes.
So it's great in so many ways. It's an opportunity for people to come together, create together, to share it
Mm-hmm.
together. But also, I realized that that last class, when that participant shared that, it shows the value of handcrafted pieces
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
and what really goes into it.
Yeah.
Yeah, so people have a more appreciation for the work that
Yes.
handcrafters do. Yeah.
Yeah. So thank you for converting people from being those who look at jewelry, handmade jewelry, and say, "Why are you charging that? I could make that myself." Okay.
Exactly. Exactly.
Yes.
Exactly. Right.
Yes.
More respect for the value
A
of the
lot more
craft.
respect.
Mm-hmm.
What were the logistics for creating a class? Was it a heavy lift to pull everything together, do the advertising for the class, and get all the tech together and the materials so that you could teach this?
Well, what I did, it wasn't really a heavy lift because I enjoy creating things. I
Mm-hmm.
enjoy trying something new. I just have an innovative spirit, thinking of ways how I can share this gift with
Mm-hmm.
people through different avenues. So, but what I did do though, I created the pieces that I'm teaching in the class first,
Okay.
and just to get a feel for is this as easy? Because, as a creator, it may be easy for me
Yeah.
to create, but is this going to be easy for someone else,
Yeah.
that doesn't have any experience with jewelry making or accessory making? Is this going to be easy for them?
Yeah.
So that probably was the most time spent, was
Mm.
trying to figure out which designs to use for the class by experimenting with creating different pieces.
Okay.
So yeah.
Okay.
So, but as far as getting the information out, I just use the platforms I already have already on social media, and of course
Mm.
my email list.
Mm.
As far as promoting and getting the word out, and the location, just finding a community location for that, which they have committed to, allow me to have the classes there. So
Oh, that's
so
good.
because it was so smooth, I was like, okay, everything's falling in place. I'm on the right track.
Yes, yes, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
after what we've gone through the last couple of years, I think people are also more receptive to just doing things in person as well, and
yeah,
getting
yeah,
together, and creating, and just being in a good space with other people again.
yeah, yeah. They enjoy that as
Yeah.
well. You're right. Mm-hmm.
How does your day, it like a day in running your business, look, as far as um handling orders, and I know your daughters help you with some of the admin work, but with creating and making and just getting things out the door, what does a typical day in the life of Accented Glory look like?
Um, what I end up doing, because I definitely had to streamline my processes.
Hmm.
Um, I created manufacturing days because I kept feeling like I was chasing my tail,
Yeah.
because I was just like making stuff to replace things I had sell. And I say, it got
Mm.
to be a better way
Yeah.
to do this. So what I did, I came up with manufacturing days. So, and I haven't shared this yet, but I also still work a day job as well.
Okay.
So it was very important to me to figure out how to streamline this process and maintain my online store.
Mm.
So certain days of the week, I create certain categories of my designs.
Mm.
So, for example, Mondays is my administrative day.
Mhm.
Okay.
Okay.
So, and on Tuesdays is my social media day. And on Wednesday, I create jewelry accessories.
Oh,
Thursday is hubby night. Friday is family night.
oh,
Saturday,
nice.
Saturday, I do headbands, hair accessories. And Sunday, I do whatever I need to catch up on.
Yeah.
Because so that's why I'm always constantly making something. So
Yeah.
I'm always constantly having stuff in stock.
Yeah.
So I'm not creating something to replace something. It's the replacement is always there, if
There.
that makes sense. So that's
Absolutely.
how I, streamline the manufacturing process and try to minimize, becoming overwhelmed
Yeah.
with maintaining everything. So
Yeah.
yeah.
I love that. That's so organized. Like,
Yeah, I definitely had to I definitely had to do that because I was just like, this is this is
yeah.
becoming a lot.
Yes. I imagine it can quickly get overwhelming,
Yeah,
especially, if you're constantly having to make. But to have certain days where you do certain things, I think it even just helps your peace of mind too, I would think.
right, right.
Yeah.
It does. It really does. Hmm.
Do you find that for your product category, you have much or any competition on Etsy? And do you pay attention to what your competition does?
I do believe I have competition, but really the only time I really look at competition is when I'm trying to see what the market value for
Mm-hmm.
items are,
Mm-hmm.
as far as what other people are charging for similar products or similar designs.
Yeah.
And then I compare, what how is my product better,
Yeah.
and so I use it for that primarily.
Okay.
For that, yeah, yeah, just to assess what the market value for certain items are.
Okay. Have
Yeah.
you ever had to deal with unhappy customers?
Yes.
How did you handle that?
Yeah, and I'm a person that's keep it 100. I keep it
Mm-hmm.
real. Initially, when I first got my negative review on Estes, I took it personally.
Oh yeah.
And I was like, and you know how us artists, we are sensitive because
No.
we know the work we put into our
Yeah.
pieces. We know how much time and energy it takes to create. And initially, I felt like, gosh, I can't believe, it was hard to accept. But then once I got over my feelings,
Yeah. Oh.
and I looked and I say, okay, let me take this from a different perspective and
Uh-huh.
see if it's our ways I can improve this
Yeah.
or make this better based on the negative review or what the person said.
Yeah.
Let me just evaluate
Okay.
the design. And I will say this, because I stepped back and looked at it from another perspective. I've had shifted some things. I have made changes on things to make the product better.
Oh,
Yes.
cool. Yeah.
Hmm.
In a situation like that, did you address the customer, or you just handled like you just made
No,
changes on your end?
no, I addressed the customer
Okay.
because I really wanted more specific on, what did you really not like about it,
Mm.
and then they, based on their response, what are ways you can suggest that this can be improved,
Oh, that's
just
nice. Yeah.
getting that feedback
Yeah.
from the customer. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. But I have had, I did have one review where the product wasn't used the way it was designed for.
Oh.
And with that situation, I just informed the customer, like, this particular design is designed for this, or to be worn like this, or to be worn like that.
Right. Right.
How can I change my description to make this more clear?
Mm.
You know, so won't nobody else expect it to meet a certain need that is not
Yeah.
created to meet. And so
Right.
that input was helpful. And then, as these people have time to go back and to adjust their ratings. And that customer did. And I
Oh,
think it's
cool.
because I took the time to get that feedback.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
And I think one of the things that I found too is like sometimes people just want to be heard, and if they feel respected as a customer, sometimes that's enough, even without you asking, to turn that chip around, like, for them to go back and think, well, she's trying to do the right thing, and she's trying to run, like, a good business here.
Hmm.
I have to give credit for that, and then go and change the rating. I know I've done that before, where it's like, okay, I was in my feelings too, and this person is trying, and it wasn't on Etsy, but I
Hmm.
went back and changed some things, like, okay, in a more, now that I'm more level headed, here is what, here is another review.
Right, right,
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, you also sell on Amazon Handmade, right?
That's correct.
How is that going? Do you enjoy that platform? Is it how do you balance that in tandem with Etsy?
Um, I enjoy selling on Amazon handmade as well. The biggest difference is, you know how Amazon has the reputation for quick shipping.
Yeah. Yes.
And that's probably the I wouldn't say a challenge now that I have my manufacturing process. So I always have
Mm,
inventory. But the turnaround, they, even though it's not quote unquote required, but it is strongly encouraged that you ship out the next day, um,
mm.
as quickly as possible. So that's, but I get it and I understand it because that's Amazon's reputation, and
Yeah.
that's the reputation. Even in the handmade area, they're trying to maintain.
Wow.
Um,
Yeah.
yeah, but they do give handmade some leeway. The
Okay.
highest manufacturing, at the last time I checked, the most days you can have for your processing time is 4 days.
Okay.
But yeah, but because, and that makes sense for the bigger items or customized items, those items takes time,
Hmm.
for the creative to make. So, but they do have some leeway.
Okay.
They do have some leeway. Yeah. Hmm.
And do they keep a close eye on that? Like, excuse me, are there repercussions if you don't meet those standards?
Yes, they do keep an eye on it,
Oh, okay.
and it can impact your account health.
Mm,
And but as long as you just be honest with yourself,
mm-hmm.
and because initially I started out with the 4 day because I really didn't know how it was going to be, right? But once I figured it out and realized, okay, I can do this quicker, then I changed my turnaround time, my processing time,
Okay.
and realized that I could do it quicker. But it does affect your account health. But as long as you maintain your account health, your visibility on the platform will remain high.
Okay.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
visibility is tied to account health on
correct.
Amazon.
Mhm,
Okay, I
mhm,
see.
mhm, mhm.
And then do you find that you have to price differently on Amazon because they have a different fee structure than on Etsy and even selling on your own site?
No, I don't. I don't. I have the same price across the board, whether I
Okay.
sell it on my website, whether I sell it on Etsy's, whether I sell it on Amazon, because interestingly, my customers, and I do have a high repeat customer rate,
Mm.
they go back and forth in between shops.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh,
So
yeah.
I don't know what's
Yeah.
that about, but I did notice that. So then that's when I realized, it's important for me to be consistent
Yeah.
across the board.
Yeah.
So yeah, yeah.
Okay. That makes sense.
Hmm.
Now, Tanya, you've been featured in some really prestigious places. Your designs have been featured in Essence magazine, Martha Stewart Shop, Refinery 29. They've also been in short films and art exhibitions. How were you able to accomplish that? Did they just find you, and do you know where they found you, or did you actively try and promote to get featured?
They found me. And I
Congratulations.
thank you. And I really accredit it to, I do have an SEO coach.
Oh.
Yeah, and yeah, and I credit it to her training, her
Mm.
coaching techniques, her coaching methods. Her name is Akila Robinson. Shout out to her.
What's the name of her
she
her
has
business? How do
she
folks
has
find her?
um Essie. I don't have the book with me, but she has a book called S. If you just Google her name and SEO,
Okay.
she will pop up. Trust
Okay.
me. She will pop up
Okay.
because she definitely has maximized and optimized SEO for herself to
Okay.
show up. But she really, and with SEO, the thing is with SEO, once you um really figure it out and
Mm-hmm.
how it works, it's a gift that keeps on giving.
Yeah.
And I'm excited and happy that I learned early on in my brand how to optimize SEO.
Mm.
And you're correct. Every time I am featured, I reach out to the author of the article or whatever, and I ask them, "How did you find me?"
Mm.
And they'll say, "Oh, we Googled this or we Googled that, and you popped up." And then
Love it.
that's just confirmation for me that okay, my SEO techniques, my SEO methods are effective and they're working.
Wow. So
Um,
I'm sorry, Tanya. So they're finding you
okay,
through accentedglory.com because of the SEO that you've put into the site.
correct. And
Okay.
they say, and when they click on my about page is just confirmation that that I'm the person they're looking for. So
Mm.
I put a lot of time and energy in making sure my about page um, answer almost any and every question
Yeah.
someone may have. Um, yeah. So it's definitely techniques and strategies that you can do to get recognized. But
Mm-hmm.
I will say this, um, on the features, um, I'm always missing either as a SD fine or an Amazon fine. Um, and
Oh.
right, so it's those two platforms are very well known, very well respected, and
Mm-hmm.
very well trusted
Yeah.
by the consumer base. Um, but I do encourage people, if you can, also have a few items on your website as well. You know,
Okay.
in case somebody do come to you
Yeah.
to your website, they can see that they can shop or at least be directed somehow, some way to where they can purchase
Yeah.
from other online marketplaces.
Okay.
But yeah, so that's how they say they found me
I
is
love
through
that.
Google searching. And that's just the thing. And a lot of makers, crafters have to understand there are people always looking because these journalists, these writers, they always looking for products to highlight because
Yeah.
they're constantly writing articles.
Yeah.
So of course they're going to go to the search engine and look, okay, what brand can I
Mm-hmm.
highlight? What brand can can I feature?
Yeah.
So that helps out with your visibility. But once they get to you, it's very important to have quality photos, quality pictures, so that is because the quality of pictures impact how the photo is going to look on the platform as
Yeah.
well. So
Yeah.
that's why I encourage people to have quality photos, professional photos, and quality pictures so
Okay.
they can highlight it. Mm-hmm.
Thank you. That's so helpful. When they approach you, is it for are they asking for permission or are they informing you that you will be featured?
Huh, now that's a whole nother thing. Because when you're not seeking to feature yourself and they find you,
Uh-huh.
happen to find you online, you are not notified. And
Ah.
that's why I always encourage people, always look at your stats, always look at your numbers. I check my numbers monthly. So
Mm.
if I see an influx or repeated sale of a certain item, that's usually a trigger. Okay, this may have been featured
Yeah.
somewhere.
Did somebody talk about this somewhere, right?
Right.
Yeah.
And so what I usually do is see what I go on my insights um and see, okay, what is directing traffic to
Mm-hmm.
my site,
Mm-hmm.
you know. And then once you see, okay, well, this website is directing traffic to my site, and then 9 times out of 10 it was a feature somewhere.
Okay.
Yeah. And then you can also do, I do this as well. You can also do Google alerts.
Oh,
And
yeah.
and that'll notify you when your brand name shows up on Google as well.
Okay. So then
Hmm.
when you see that, then do you go and see what specifically they highlighted so that you make sure
Yeah,
you have enough and you're ready for the influx of.
right, right.
Okay.
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly. So know your numbers, check your stats, check your analytics, check
Yeah.
your insights, because they will tell you your brand story.
Okay.
What's happening, what's going on, and
Yeah.
it'll alert you. And that's how I found out about the Essence feature, because I was like, God, I'm getting a lot of traffic. Where is this traffic
Ah.
coming from? So I say, let me go and see. And as of now, Etsy still show you, what sites are directing traffic.
Yeah.
It'll show you the link to the website. And then when I saw essence.com on there, I was like, hold
Oh,
up.
yeah.
Let me figure out what's. So then
Wow.
I Googled it. I said, okay, Essence. And then I Googled my brand name. And then
Yeah.
that's when the feature popped up.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
So
Amazing.
definitely utilize those stats and
Yeah.
insights
Okay.
that the platforms provide for you, because they will tell you the story.
Yeah. So, when you first started on Etsy, I'm sure you had an idea of what you wanted to get out of it. Now, looking back at your journey, would you say that running your business on Etsy, opening your shop, has had the impact that you expected, or has it been different? Different good, different unexpected? What would you say?
Opening my Etsy shop has been good.
Mhm.
Good as in expanding my reach.
Mhm.
Because I really don't think I would have been able to reach the people that I have
Mm.
if I haven't been on an online marketplace. Because I've had international sales on Etsy, and so and that has really had a great impact on my visibility as a brand.
Yeah.
So, and then being highlighted as an SD find on
Yeah.
those major platforms, it not only brings attention to the SD marketplace and the platform, but it brings attention to other handcrafters,
Yeah.
that's on the site, and people know that they can get quality products
Yeah.
from those platforms. Hmm.
Good, good. Now, when you get an idea for a new product, um, what's the life cycle from, inception to actually creating it and then to having it ready for sale? Typically, how long does that take and what? Yeah.
Um, I would say the process. I would say the process is about. I'm gonna say 2 months.
Oh,
And
wow.
the reason why I say that is because, first of all, my creative process is this: I have an idea,
Mm-hmm.
okay, so I create it. I go through this prototype process, trial and error.
Mm.
Sometimes things turn out great, sometimes they don't.
Yeah. Yeah.
If it turns out great, if it turns out great, I wear test my product. or have somebody else to wear test my product.
Mm.
Then I ask for their feedback. What did you like about this earring or this necklace or this headband?
Yeah.
What do you think would make it better? And they tell me. So then I go back and fine tune the product.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Then after that, I try selling it in person. Because with in-person sales, people get to touch, feel, examine. And so if I have success with selling it in person, then I add it to the website, to the online marketplaces.
Oh.
Yeah.
So
So that's my creative process, because I really want to ensure that not only that I have stylish, products, but that they're durable, wearable,
yeah.
comfortable. They've been tested.
Yeah.
Real people tested, real people wearing it on a regular.
Yeah.
And it's honest, genuine feedback from that person who wear tested.
Yeah.
So yeah.
So does that mean that there are some things you create that never make it to the shop because they just don't pass
Yes.
it? Whoa, really?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, there are some things that I create that don't make it to the shop. But I do keep it, because you never know when it might come back around, and I think, okay, maybe I can improve it, shift this or tweak that.
Yeah.
But yeah, it are some things that have not made it.
Wow. I never stopped to think about that. As creatives, we just feel like, oh, I can just make and sell. Everything I make, somebody is going to love. But I never stopped to think that, hey, does anybody ever not end up selling something they make, or putting it out there because it didn't meet, the standard?
Yeah.
I like that. So then that means everything is tested. Everything in your shop is tested and, stands a much better chance. Yes. Yes.
Yes. Yeah. So yeah, everything that's on my online platforms has been wear tested out by somebody. And then what I end up doing is just replicating that prototype to sell.
Yeah. Makes sense. Tonya, do you ever find sometimes that you get into creative ruts, like just no ideas for new designs are coming? And how do you get yourself out of those?
I think what I do is just kind of just decompress. Because I think a lot of times, as people in general, we become overwhelmed by life itself. And sometimes we just need to just slow down, stop, breathe, decompress, regroup, replenish, refresh. And because those type of things can hinder our creativity, can hinder our creative flow. And we definitely have to address those things when those interruptions occur. So yeah.
One of the questions I like to ask is what you think you have done, or what some of the things you've done to set yourself up for success are. You've said so many things already that I think have contributed to you being successful. Can you think of any other things that you specifically did that you think have helped you just find success and find your rhythm on not just Etsy, but in running your creative business as a whole?
One of the things, and this is something I had to learn this year, okay? Because not only do I'm a creative, I do the accessory making classes, I do a lot of different things with my brand, but I also coach other creators. And how to build a brand and to get that brand visibility and, to start converting their followers into customers too. But one thing I learned this year is that with growth of your brand requires greater investment. And I was sharing this with my husband. I was like, you know what? I'm able to coach people. I'm able to help people grow their brands, and their brands are doing fantastic.
Yeah.
I don't understand why I can't coach myself.
Ah.
And then my husband said, he said something and it stuck with me, and I'll never forget it. He said, think about, and he's a sports guy. He said, you think about NBA players, they're the best of the best
Mm-hmm.
of their sport, but they still need a coach. NFL players, the best of the best of their sport, but they still need a coach. He said, everybody needs guidance. Everybody has room for improvement, no matter how great you are or how great you think you are.
Yeah.
Everybody needs guidance. And then that's when I said, okay, you're right. Let me invest in this. Let me invest in myself. And I think a lot of times we're kind of hesitant about investing in ourselves and in our growth, because with new levels come new requirements of investment as well.
Yeah.
And we have to get comfortable with that. Yeah. And knowing with an investment, we're not spending money, we're investing money. Yes. And when you think about the word investment, you're expecting a return.
Yeah.
Okay. So it's going to be a return on your investment. And I think we just have to shift. And I know I did personally. I had to shift my mindset to where I'm not spending money, I'm investing money.
Yes.
And it's going to be a return on this. And once that clicked for me, oh my gosh. It, like I said, kind of in the beginning of the interview, once that clicked for me, because there was a shift in my confidence and in my ability, then that impacted how my customers responded as well.
So you got yourself a coach?
Yeah, I have.
Nice.
Yeah, I did.
Yes.
I did. And it has made a huge difference.
Wow. I really like that analogy, because it in my mind it makes total sense. People at the top of their game, like he said, in the NFL or NBA, they still need coaches. Like, there's still always room for improvement and to get better, and they have blind spots that they don't see, but somebody else looking from the outside who, when you put them side by side, the coach probably can't even play as well as the athlete, but they're able to fill in gaps that person is missing to make them better at what they're doing.
Exactly. That is it.
Yes.
Yeah, because, and that's another thing, as creators, we so engulfed and involved in the creative process. It's difficult for us to remove ourselves from that, to be objective, if that makes sense.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely.
It's difficult for us to be objective.
Yeah.
So that the coach bring in that aspect of it. Yeah.
I was going to ask you next about a piece of advice that you have for a seller who might be struggling, and I feel like what you just said was perfect. Like, get help from somebody who isn't you.
and it'll save you a lot of time.
Yeah.
It'll save you a lot of energy.
Yes.
And you'll get to where you want to go a lot quicker.
Faster. Yes. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
As impatient as we get with ourselves, there's some things that, we can do to help expedite our progress. And when we think of the having to invest in what it will take to get that. Some of us stumble on that, and we really need to get past those blockades that say, it's not worth it to spend this money. Just figure it out.
Yeah, but it's worth it.
I agree. Yeah, I've learned the hard way. It's worth it.
Yeah, it is.
Are there any tools or resources that you currently use that you found particularly helpful in running your business or just being a better business person, other than coaching?
Yes, I really don't think, and this has been my experience with coaching other people. I really don't think people utilize it fully, the resources that they have at hand, especially with these social media accounts and these social media business accounts. They provide insights for you. They provide vital information for you. I would encourage everybody to figure out how to learn how to understand what those insights mean and what those insights are telling you, because basically understanding those and regularly, whether it's monthly or every 2 weeks or whatever you can do, regularly looking at those, because those will help you tweak and fine tune your marketing strategy so you can impact and reach more people. I would like to encourage people to pay more attention to their data.
Oh, I love that. I love that. Every once in a while, somebody will come on and say that, like, look at the data, look at your numbers. There's
because
gold
we don't know
in there.
how many, right? And we don't know how much longer we're gonna have access to
that,
data.
right? Yeah.
Right. So go ahead and take advantage of it now and fine tune it now. Yes. So if it ever comes a time where that's not available, you already know the pattern of your ideal customer and what they're looking for. Okay. So definitely take advantage of it now. Definitely.
Thank you, Tonya. Now. That's really good advice. Okay, here's the fun part. Well, the whole conversation has been fun, but I also like to ask my guests if they have an Etsy shop shout out. So this can be another seller, just someone you want to send some love to within the community. And even if they're not on Etsy, it can be somebody else outside of the Etsy community that you just want to just highlight and bring awareness to, so folks can go and check out what they're doing.
Okay. I'm going to shout out again my SEO coach, Akila Thompson Robinson.
Yes.
Definitely look her up. Just Google her name and SEO. She will hop up because we definitely need to optimize. Like I say, once again, I know I've said this many times throughout this interview. We definitely need to optimize the tools and resources that are available to us that help us be successful as business owners. And as of now, Google is free. So it's no reason why, as a business owner, you should not be taking advantage of these opportunities with these free tools and resources. Learn how to optimize and maximize them to grow and scale your business.
Okay. I love that. And I did a quick search for Akila while you were talking, and I will definitely link to her website. But for anybody, if you have your phone in hand and you want to jump over there, she is at girlgetvisible.com. And
yes, that's it.
That's it, right? Yeah. Okay.
That's it.
Yes.
Yes.
I will link to her website in the show notes for this episode, so you can go and check out what she's doing. She's also on Instagram as well. So I will have links there in the Etsy shop shout out section of this episode, So if you're driving and you can't do that now, I have that for you.
Thank you. I appreciate that because it just slipped my mind. I was like, why can't I remember website? So thank you. I appreciate it.
Oh, you're welcome. Yeah, it sounds like she's doing good work. So I'm
She is
happy to.
amazing, amazing spirit, amazing
Oh,
person, good
nice.
people.
Yeah.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Now, Tonya, what's the best way folks can connect with you if they want to do that, if they want to reach out, maybe ask you some questions, check out what you're doing online?
Okay. You can reach out to me on my social media platforms. My handle is at Accented Glory. It's the same across the board. I make
Okay.
it very easy for people to find me. I'm on almost all of the social media platforms. So wherever you go, you should be able to
She's
type in my
there.
name. I'm there. And you can find me. And also my website, which
Yeah.
is accentedglory.com. You can
Yeah.
reach out to me there as well.
Okay, great. And I always just like to have you say it, but I will definitely have links to all of Tanya's socials, her Etsy shop, and her website. Again, please check out Tanya's Etsy shop, Accented Glory, and then her website also, accentedglory.com. If you forget or you're driving, like I said, links will be in the show notes for this episode, also to all her social media. Tanya, thank you so, so much for one, just being open to this and for saying yes. Every yes I get just makes me so happy because I love telling these stories. I love sharing these stories. And I know people will learn from just your journey and your experience and what you've learned as well will be helpful to others. So thank you for taking the time to have this conversation with me.
And thank you for the opportunity. And thank you to your listeners for listening and supporting your podcast.
Oh, you're so welcome. And I thank you for listening to this podcast as well. I will be back with another episode next week.